post-draft Jets fans. How you doing today? Look at us. All these months prepping, talking, discussing, arguing, fighting, and we're done. Poop. Just like that. Here we are. Well, welcome. We're going to dissect all this stuff. I am Greenbean. Welcome to episode 69, dude, of Greenbean's Jets Pod. Wow. I've waited 68 episodes to say that. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Do you know what I mean? 69. Bill and Ted. Hello?
69, dudes!
Okay. My younger viewers are like, Bill and who? Well, no, they just put out a movie recently, right? Not very good, I gotta say. A lot of hype. They tried to get us back in there. It worked, and it sucked. Bill and Ted 1 is it. And then Bill and Ted 2 is some fun stuff. But, Bill and Ted 3. Anyway, here we are, Greenbean's Jets Pod, and I'm psyched to have you. Not that we haven't been hanging out a smidgen this weekend, right? We spent 19 and 1/2 hours live streaming over the course of this weekend over at Jets Talk 24/7 with my good buddies Ryan and Matt O'Leary. What a friggin' good time we had, right, man? I mean, if you were able to hang out with us for any stretch of that, I know you had fun. I did. We argued. We discussed. We talked about French fries. Do you know that we actually had a debate about McDonald's fries versus Burger King fries? Can you imagine that there are people out there that really do think Burger King fries are better than McDonald's fries? One of those people happens to be Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. Do me a favor. Go over to his next video. He's got a live stream tonight when this is airing. Monday night, Ryan has a live stream. Go over there tonight and tell him you're out of your mind. Burger King fries. Burger King has changed their fries 4 times. What is that? That tells you it's not too good if you got to keep changing it. McDonald's fries are the king. Like Jim Gaffigan said, I don't think my mother has ever made anything that comes close to a McDonald's fry. And as much as my mother's food is awesome, it ain't McDonald's fries, okay? So we did all that sort of stuff, and I want to get right into it with you guys, and talk about the picks, the reactions, the phone calls, all the stuff, even a few comparisons. I want to compare a few things with you guys today. We'll have a little bit of fun with this. We're kind of coming down, so we'll have a little bit of fun. Before I do that, I do want to remind you a couple things here. One is, help us out over here at Greenbean Jetsfan and like the video if you're over here watching it with us. It's funny, somebody in the chat said, I don't like anything because someone told me to like it. So I thought a lot about that. I said, maybe there's a lot of you guys out there like, shut up, don't tell me what to do, right? Especially because we're Jets fans, so that probably resonates. Don't tell me what to do. I don't like it if I want to like it. And I asked him, and I said, well, what happens if you actually like it? And he said, you know what? Fair point, because I do like it, so I'll click it. And that's what happened. So if you like it, and only if you like it, just don't forget to do it, is my point. It's not a directive, it's a reminder. Huh? What do you think of that? And in addition to that, you can subscribe to the channel. That helps out immeasurably. YouTube responds to this stuff. I'm trying to build a channel here. If you subscribe to more subscribers, YouTube gives you more exposure and stuff and all that. And it helps, man. It helps. The biggest thing that you can do is if you want some exclusive content, exclusive access, we have such a good time in my group called the Beanbaggers, which is accessed through my Patreon, and that link is right in the description of this video. Go ahead and click on that and join the Beanbaggers. We have a great time, man. This week, Wednesday night, we are rewatching in a little Zoom room. We get together and relive our past great moments. This week, this month, it is the 2010 playoff game against the New England Patriots. The last game before it crumbled. Oh, That was the pinnacle. Who knew? It was the peak. Can't wait. All the stuff that happened. Braylon Edwards and Santonio Holmes running around and all that stuff. Anyway, if you want to watch that with us, join the Beanbaggers and have a great time. That's nice and easy to do, and it is appreciated, sincerely. So, let's talk about this draft. As I mentioned, I did a live stream with Ryan and Matt, and we had lots of other guests come on. Lots of you guys came on, the other Jets content creators. We even had Jude Jets got in there. It was great. But we were talking about all kinds of stuff. We had 19 and a half hours to fill, and day 3 in particular was difficult because our picks were done in the first 45 minutes, and then we had 8 more hours to fill without a Jets pick. We just spent 8 hours hoping the Jets would trade, one of our players that we may cut in the near future, for a 6th, for a 7th, anything. Get us back in the game. That's what we were trying to do. It didn't happen. But I want to show you guys some things. One is, we saw beforehand that the Jets put out probably the best Jets hype video I've ever seen. Now, there's been some good ones before the season, and they all work. They all achieve their desired result, their intended purpose. But this one was different. It really was. It was the Elijah Moore video talking to the rookies, the potential rookies, about what it means to get drafted to this team, what we're doing here, and the expectations. And one of my favorite lines is, once your name is called, it no longer matters where you were called or when you were called. That's key, man. And he's so right. Out there, those guys, that's got to be the most stressful thing, hoping you're going to get called. Or like the guys like a Malik Willis, he was told he was going to potentially be the 2nd overall pick. And he clearly waited a lot further than he thought. He wouldn't have even showed up to the draft if he knew what was going to happen. So this has to be stressful and tense and all that stuff for these guys. But once they're called, dude, they're on the team. And Elijah Moore video was pretty cool. Now, Ryan and Matt didn't see this before we had the stream, and I drove it home. I was like, you guys got to see it. And I wanted to show you particularly Matt's reaction. It's perfect. So take a listen and check out how Matt reacts to this one. It's good.
Tony just begun. Welcome to the squad, Ruck. We're the New York Jets. Let's take flight.
Oh, I am rock hard. I could cut diamonds.
Oh, man, I got a big old chubby right now.
Wasn't that good? So, yeah, man, that's the thing. That's the thing. When they do it right, and I gotta hand it to the Jets. Their media department, especially over the past 5 years or so, man, oh, man, are they knocking it out of the park. They do it just right. They have a very good conception of how to utilize social media, YouTube, all that stuff. They obviously do the yearly One Jets Drive, and now this will be the 2nd year we get Flight 2022. Last year was 2021, obviously, but the Flight series, let's call it. And, dude, that gives us the window in to what they were thinking and working on for this process leading up to the draft. So we had all kinds of theories and everything. We don't know anything. And I'll tell you what. If you ever needed confirmation that our beat is not in on what the Jets are doing, look at this draft right here. Do you remember? Icky. Who said Icky 15 times? The same guy that said we were trading 10 for Calvin Ridley. Remember? Dude, these guys are laughably bad. Now, look, I make my own predictions, right? We do this stuff, so do you. But we don't have a seat at the table. I'm not in the room. These guys are supposed to be able to give us something, some inside. And they can't. They are cut out of the Joe Douglas regime. You want to know why? Because Joe Douglas knows that they're scrubs. That's the truth. Whether or not he lets them know that he knows that, he's professional. He's not going to. But they're not told a single thing. If you ever needed confirmation, just look at this draft. They knew nothing. Nothing. We knew more, in my opinion, because we know more, period. But so when we went into the draft, I'm going to shoot real straight with you. Not that I need to, because you guys have been hanging with me, a lot of you. I wanted an edge rusher at all costs. at all costs. And my firm belief was if we're going to get the best edge rusher for our team, you should take an edge rusher with your highest pick to get the guy, make sure nobody else takes anybody, right? And it just so happened that one of, if not the highest rated edge rusher, was on the board at 4 when we picked. I have to admit, I thought it was a foregone conclusion. Now, I thought that they could have gone a different way, could have. But when they chose Sauce Gardner, I was blown away. I truly was. Even though I knew it I knew it was possible. Really, I don't think I knew it was possible. You know everything's possible. But I just didn't see it coming. It hit me like a pop to the chops. Like, whoa, what the hell was that? And we captured our reaction, me, Ryan, and Matt. And I'm going to play that for you, let you know this is real. This is the real stuff. This is happening while it happens. So you're seeing the instantaneous live reaction right here. It's hard to hide. When you're an emotional guy like myself, it's hard to pretend for me. So here you go. Take a look at our reaction for the Sauce Gardner pick.
With the 4th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner.
Holy let's go! That's what I'm talking about. Oh!
Wow.
It's misty here in
I can't believe it.
I am shocked.
Gave me a damn heart attack.
I'm shocked.
Wow.
I really am.
Dude, I love it.
Right? Right now, look, there's a lot of Jets fans. There was a significant portion of us that was their number one guy. They wanted him. They were hoping for him. So congratulations to you guys. That must have felt great. I wasn't there. I wasn't with you on that one. Now, do I hate the pick? Of course not. And I've said that myriad times, myriad ways beforehand. The guy's 6'2" 3/4 inches. I'm going to call that 6'3" from here on out. I'm never going to say 6'2" 3/4 again. You heard it. Unless I'm asked, then you got to answer questions, right? 190 pounds. He runs a 4.41 140. Came out of Cincinnati. Now, Sauce Gardner, when he was interviewed after the pick, he said this was the plan the whole time. And he can say that because Robert Saleh on the phone call, which we'll get to later, said, you were the guy the whole time. So everything that was said, everything, and even some of our beat writers tried to say 2 or 3 or 4 guys, so they're trying to cover their bases. That's the only way they got anything right. But generally speaking, they were wrong all weekend. So everybody thought they were going to go edge. I don't know if I thought they were going to go edge, but I'll tell you what, I wanted them to go edge. That's all I wanted for Christmas was my 2 front teeth here. That's it. Everything else can go to the wayside. I wanted an edge. We got a cornerback. Now, the good news is with Sauce Gardner is obviously his stats are good, his physical attributes are good, and all that stuff. But here's the coolest thing from my perspective. Tony Oden happens to be, in my opinion, the best of the bunch out of our coaches. Now, I really have a lot of hope for Mike LaFleur. We're hoping that Saleh can end up being a good head coach. I don't know what to make of Robert Saleh yet. There's quite a few things and plenty that happened last year that make me scratch my head. So he's learning. I'm giving it to him, but I'm not convinced yet. I do like a lot of things about him, but Tony Oden, it's unquestionable how good of a coach that guy is. He's very well thought of around the league, and the players love him too. So Sauce Gardner, our number 1 overall pick at 4 overall, gets to go to our best coach. That to me is the silver lining. That's the real nugget out of this, is that we want our top pick to succeed. Now he comes in with all the stuff that he can succeed. But what ends up happening with teams like the Jets and great players that we draft in the past is we bring him in and we give him nothing. Like, look at Sam Darnold. The poor kid comes in. He says, you guys are going to get a lot of wins. He's ready. We don't even give that kid a quarterback coach. None. Jeremy Bates didn't give him a quarterback coach. So Jeremy Bates is responsible for the whole offense and coaching Sam Darnold. You see the divide there? You need a coach that can solely work on this guy. Same thing with Adam Gase. He doesn't need a quarterback coach. Matter of fact, Adam Gase didn't even bring on a real offensive coordinator. Nothing. So, and then on top of that, we give him no receivers and everything else. So you see, and look, and I have 100 options of players we just brought on and dropped them. We gave him nothing. Sauce Gardner, the exact opposite. He gets our best. And that, to me, makes it all exciting, even more exciting. And then you got the the jar of the bottle of sauce with Woody. If you haven't seen that clip, you got to watch it. Maybe I'll tack it on to the end of this one so you guys can see it. I don't know, man. Woody Johnson's a funny guy. Sauce Gardner, all the personality you could want. And what was the first thing he said? This is why they chose him. And I'll tell you something else. They chose him for two reasons. One is when he's asked, what can they expect from you? He said, I'm coming in to be the best teammate I can be. He didn't say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm going to do that. He said, I'm going to be the best teammate that I can be. Teammate. Now, they're prepped. They know the deal. But a lot of these guys, when they're in their moment, they can't help but self-promote. Sauce Gardner said, I'm going to be a teammate. That's my job. That's what I want to do. And that's why they took him. Now, the other thing is this. When you look at Sauce Gardner versus Kayvon Thibodeau, what happened, right? Oh, my God, the best edge rusher possibly is on the board, even though he's the third guy. By many people's standards, the best. The most upside, all the stuff. Why did we take Sauce Gardner over him? Well, Sauce Gardner said something in his intro. This was the plan the whole time. I just didn't say anything. Well, it came out after all this that both Thibodeau and Sauce Gardner had meetings with the Jets, and they were asked by the Jets, both of them, not to say anything about their meeting. One held to that, and one talked about it. That's Kayvon Thibodeau. And if you have two guys in the same tier, you're holding them in the same regard, you're kind of going back and forth, which guy should we take, which guy should we take? One listens to your directions and one doesn't, there it is. That's the decider. Now, there could be more, all right, of course. When guys are close, you're looking for the most, just the smallest of details, seemingly insignificant. One followed my directions, the first directions, and the other guy couldn't do that. There it is. So we got the guy. I love it. Now, then we go to pick 10. Now, a lot of us, I think pick 10 we talked about and tore apart even more than pick 1, or pick 4, before the draft, right? Because we were pretty much locked in on one. This was going to be an edge rusher up top. So you had pick 10. A lot of guys wanted an edge rusher and a receiver. A lot of us didn't think that the receiver position was strong enough to warrant taking one at 10. You had the trade things with Deebo Samuel and all the other guys that we heard about. And that the value at 35 could warrant using 10 for another position. But then once we took a cornerback with pick 1 out of our, pick 4, it looked, and I was scanning thousands of people in a chat all weekend, especially during the picks, right? Thousands. 99 out of every 100 of them were convinced we were going edge rusher at 10 because we took a cornerback at 4. It seemed like an impossibility. When I heard the name Garrett Wilson, I didn't even know what to take, because Garrett Wilson, while we talked about it all the time, was, in my opinion, the number 1 receiver in the draft. You had the Jamison Williams possibility, but I just didn't think we needed to take him. Look at all the second round wide receivers. I happen to like a lot of those guys. So anyway, but when you can't hate Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. They're two studs coming in. But after a cornerback at 4, I thought it was a foregone conclusion edge. And so did most of you. When I heard the name Garrett Wilson, I didn't even know what to do with myself. Now, I think I clapped. Like, okay, I like him. But I didn't know what to do. So take a look and see our natural reaction to hearing Garrett Wilson's name as the 10th overall pick in the draft.
With the 10th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Garrett Wilson.
Ooh,
Let's go!
Wow, okay.
Let's go!
We get our receiver.
Wow. Wilson is
Let's
going
go.
to the Jets.
Right? I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my God, we are leaving the top 10 without an edge rusher. I started thinking, do they like Ebiketie, Boye Mafe? Is that what we're going to do here? Because Jermaine Johnson and Karlaftis aren't making it to the second round. There's no way. So it was hard. Now, it's funny because I sincerely and genuinely liked both players, but I did not understand the draft plan. And here's the thing. You guys know, I am one of the more vocal Joe Douglas supporters. Don't love everything, but I think overall the job he's done has been the best we've seen in a long time, right? I've said that ad nauseum. But during this draft, I have to admit, I was losing faith. I think we're bringing in talent, but not the talent that I thought we should be bringing in. And I didn't understand it. Like, the only thing that could have been more confusing is if we took Sauce and a tackle, like Charles Cross. I would not have known what's going on. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't even know my name. I wouldn't have known my own name, okay? So we take Garrett Wilson, and we're trying to figure it out the whole rest of the draft. I mean, look, we had over 78,000 people of you in our live streams over the weekend. So there was a lot of you expressing the same thing. Now, many were happy about the players, but again, where's the edge rusher? And, 11, 13, 17, 19, 22. It's like, what is happening? But the interesting thing is that both Jermaine Johnson and George Karlaftis were still there. Now, me personally, I was hoping for George Karlaftis out of the two. But again, said it a million times, any of the top 4, 5 really edge rushers I would have been ecstatic with. So when we started to get to 24, 25, 26, I couldn't believe when we saw trade. Jets. We're going to get him. It's got to be edge rusher, right? It has to be. I wondered who it would be. When it was Jermaine Johnson, we lost our shit because by that point we were browbeaten. We were slap happy. We didn't know what was going on. It's like, I don't even know if I can believe it's going to be an edge rusher. So we trade back up to 26. We trade 69 and 146 for 26 and 101. Perfect. Getting the pick back. Very reminiscent of what Joe Douglas did in the AVT trade last year. Using his 2/3, he got up, but he got one back. So he doesn't lose the players. He loses the quality, doesn't lose the players. Last year he did lose 1/3, but he made it up with the 4th. This time he made it up with the later 3rd, who we'll talk about a little bit later. So we grab him, Jermaine Johnson. Take a look at our reaction, our relief.
With the 26th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jermaine Johnson.
Yes! Yes! Oh, let's go! Let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go!
I love it.
Man.
Got our edge rusher. So, breaking from the Jets for a few minutes, looking at it, we got the number 1 cornerback in the draft. Obviously not on the Texans board because they took Derek Stingley, but by a lot of people's assertions, number 1 cornerback in the draft. We also get arguably the number 1 wide receiver. I mean, he was Daniel Jeremiah's number 1, Mel Kiper's number 1. He was Daniel Jeremiah's 4th overall player. So, I mean, Drake London did go before him. So, again, same way with Stingley. Clearly, the Atlanta Falcons had Drake London number 1, but arguably the number 1 wide receiver, at worst, number 2, right? We come away with our edge rusher. What an amazing first round. Arguably, one of the top 3 or 4 edge rushers in the class. So, and the way Salah says it, he was number 1. And look, they were willing to pass on Kayvon Thibodeau. And it all depends on how you look at it. Is Kayvon Thibodeau worth more than Jermaine Johnson alone? Potentially, but not Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson. I guess that's how they saw it. Or maybe they just straight up like Jermaine Johnson more. Hey, who knows? But that's what we do. But taking a little break out of that, we're all kind of happy and giddy and all this. And then pick 29 rolls around. And the Patriots are on the clock, and George Karlaftis is still there. Daxton Hill, Lewis Cine, lots of guys. I'm like, man, I don't want the Patriots to get these guys. I like these guys. You know what I mean? And then they pull the wackiest move in the world. And they draft a guy I like in the 3rd round. They make him the 29th overall pick. And this was our reaction to that.
Wow. Matt looks like Bobby Bonilla. Jets need O-line. Oh, man. By your faces, this is going to be a very interesting selection.
I don't know what to say. Now, I'm happy. Now, I think Cole Strange is going to be a good player. I like Cole Strange, but that's the exact type of guy that you could, if you really wanted him, you could have reached for Cole Strange in the 2nd and got him. He was 3rd round pick, man, all day. All day, every day. And he's going to more than likely need a year at minimum to really get under himself. He needs core strength, lots of stuff. He's got the tenacity, all that. But he's going to get beaten up. Good. I hope they have him starting this year. I want Quinnen Williams and JFM and Sheldon Rankins and all these guys to maul him. That's what I want. Go ahead. Show Belichick. Get him. Get him. So that was an interesting one. The Patriots did it again later with Tyquan Thornton. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the Patriots are doing. Far be it for me to crap on them because they've been better than us for the past 2 decades. So, it just looks weird, but they don't have Tom Brady anymore to cover this stuff. This is what we're really looking at. Now, the 2nd round comes around. We have 1 pick now because we used 35 on Jermaine Johnson, right? We traded up to 26 to get Jermaine Johnson. So he's essentially our 2nd round pick, but we very wisely got the 5th-year option on him. So that's the bonus. We used 146 essentially to get the 5th-year option. Okay? Not bad. Edge rushers are our premiums, so we get them for an extra year, and which is pretty cool. So we get to the 2nd round. A lot of us, we've been talking about the 2nd round a lot. So we get to the 2nd round. We have 1 pick 38, and we're waiting. Now, most of us thought we were going to do Trey McBride before free agency. Then we all kind of thought we were going to get a safety or a linebacker. Nakobe Dean, a 1st round, rated linebacker on most people's minds. He's sitting there. Lots of great guys are sitting there. And then 36 comes up and the Jets decide to trade up. We can't wait. 2 more picks. We got to go. I was convinced it was Nakobe Dean. Convinced. Now, you remember we talked about Bryce Hall at the 2nd round, or in the 2nd round. We talked about Bryce Hall in the 2nd round a lot these past few weeks, especially after our free agency. Could the Jets just throw caution to the wind and say, screw it, we want the best running back in this draft? Could they do it? This regime has done nothing of the sort. 4th round has been the highest running backs they've brought in. You look at the Niners, they do the same thing. The Ravens, very few running backs during Joe Douglas's tenure there in the 1st round. I think there was 1. So everything leading up to this supports the idea that they're not going to take a 2nd round running back. Now, when they traded up, I thought that whatever possibility it had, running back coming to the Jets in the 2nd round, it's out. There's no way. It's one thing to take him at 38. It's another entirely to trade up 2 spots to get him. And we heard the name. Take a look at our natural reaction to this one. Check it out.
With the 36th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Bryce Hall, running back.
Holy
shit!
No way!
God! Wow!
Amazing. Now, let me just share a few things with you. This guy, this Bryce Hall character, number one, it makes sense because we have Bryce Hall, right? And we got Bryce Huff. There's all these weird, cool connections that the Jets are working on. You got to take them. And that's one of the reasons they had to look at that. Well, we got Bryce Hall, it makes sense. So they did that. Number one, he's big. 6'1", 220 pounds. So he's a big running back, which is what I wanted. I wanted one of the bigger guys. You want a guy that can muscle through, lay a pop if he needs to. That's Bryce Hall. In 2019, he had 857 yards, 9 touchdowns on the ground. He also had 23 receptions, 252 yards, and another touchdown, totaling 10 touchdowns 3 years ago, 2019. In 2020, he rushes for 1,572 yards with 21 touchdowns. He also has 23 receptions for 180 yards and 2 more touchdowns, totaling 23 touchdowns. So he's got 10 touchdowns, 23 touchdowns. 2021, last year, he rushes for 1,472 yards with 20 more touchdowns on the ground. Then he ups his receiving stuff, 36 receptions, 303 yards, 3 more touchdowns, equaling 23 touchdowns. So he had 56 touchdowns in 3 years. We've never had anybody like this. 56 touchdowns in 3 years. In addition to that, he broke a college football record by having 24 straight games with at least 1 touchdown. No college running back has ever done that before. There's only one. His name is Bryce Hall. He's a New York Jet. In addition to that, he's also the first running back since 2006 to have a sub 4.4 40 time and a 40-inch plus vertical. Dude, the guy's breaking all kinds of records for production and ability. I mean, look, bringing him onto this team, they looked at running back. Yes, it might be a little bit minimized in the NFL these days, but this offense is predicated on being able to run the ball. Brought in the offensive linemen to do it. Brought in the tight ends to help with it. Got Michael Carter, very good running back, number 2, and created missed tackles last year. And now they went and got the best running back. We more than likely haven't seen a running back in New York Jets colors like this since, well, you can argue Chris Ivory for a minute there, but probably Curtis. That's probably the last guy that we had that was this caliber of running back, and they decided more valuable than Nakobe Dean, more valuable than a double-up edge or a safety. We want our offense to click, and this is the piece. And they did it, man. But I have to say, while I was surprised, I absolutely love it. I love it. We helped out the defense in this draft. We helped out the defense in free agency. This was the final cog in this offense. We drafted a wide receiver. We have other wide receivers. We brought in the tight ends. We stiffened up the offensive line. And this was the guy. The guy that can help this offense more than any other, and they went for it. I respect that. I appreciate that, and I love it. I'm happy with the pick. One of the cooler things that happened was pick 101. And this is one of those moments, man. Now, did I think we should grab another tight end after adding Conklin and Uzoma and having Yeboah and Wesco and all the guys? Do I think that we were wise necessarily? I don't know. We all like this player. We talked about him all offseason. We know that we know that the Jets had him on the Senior Bowl team. In addition to Jermaine Johnson, he also had to leave early. But Jeremy Rucker as a tight end, we had him in the 3rd round, a 3rd round grade on this guy, and it just looked like that was unlikely. In the similar way that we thought running back was unlikely in the 2nd round. We had 1 3rd round pick. We moved it back from 69 to 101. And we take Jeremy Rucker. Now, why is Jeremy Rucker so cool? You know this. Because he's been a lifelong diehard Jets fan. He's from Long Island. He lives about 3 houses away from Matt O'Leary, I heard. All right, that's where he lives. Grew up near Hempstead, watching the Jets practices and all this stuff. His father is a diehard Jets fan as well. Earlier this year was tweeting stuff out about Jeremy Rucker in a Jets jersey and all that stuff as a kid. And we said, screw it. Now, I don't know what the motivation was there. Maybe they were deciding between him and some other guy. And they just said, you know what? We want him. We like him. Let's just make a dream come true. Let's just do it. Because you're getting a great player, in my opinion. Good blocker, underappreciated hands. I'll show you a picture of his length, okay? Underappreciated hands. But dude, seeing this reaction makes it all worth it. It's that good. because he's going to be a good player for us on top of it. Would I have preferred they maybe went with a different position after what they did in free agency? Maybe. But once you see the reaction, all that stuff is out the window. Check this out.
You ready to make a dream come true? Let's do this. Welcome to the Jets, brother. We're going to take you here at 101.
JR. Congratulations, my man.
Right? Come on. Come on. Like, this is one of those things. This is us. He is us. That dad. I wonder how many times I've sat next to that guy in Giants Stadium or MetLife. I've never been to Shea, sadly. You know he has. That guy spent an afternoon or two at Shea Stadium. You know he has. They're us. They're like one of us suddenly getting called by the Jets and saying, hey, can you come and play with us? Come on. So it's the best. It's the best moment of the game. Now, look, we had Greg Van Rooten, who's also a Jets fan, and we felt similarly for him. We did. Just turns out that Greg Van Rooten didn't work for us. He did get to start for his childhood dream for 2 years. So good for Greg. We don't hate you, man. Just, it's time for an upgrade there. But to Jeremy Rucker thing, we got more because of the draft call. It's a whole different thing. When he put on the hat, oh my God. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that pick as well. Now we get to pick 111. This is day 3. We didn't know what we were going to do. A lot of us thought that they might go offensive line because the pipeline, and look, we talked about this ad nauseum as well. 4th round is the perfect sweet spot for offensive linemen. You don't need to use 1st round picks every year on offensive linemen. Sure, bringing in a couple higher pedigree guys and all that's great. But the 4th, really the 3rd through the 6th round is a sweet spot for offensive linemen historically. And it's time to start bringing in those guys, developing them on the pipeline for a year or two. And when you lose somebody else, they roll right in without missing a beat. They know the offense and all that. And that's exactly what the Jets did. Truth is, I thought they would probably go linebacker or safety here. I'm blown away that we didn't take one of either position. I gotta say, I'm just so surprised. Not one linebacker drafted, not one safety drafted. I'm just surprised. So we go with Max Mitchell, a player that we talked about many times. A lot of us like Max Mitchell, right where he was supposed to be taken. Perfect. But the coolest thing is that we gave his area scout the opportunity to make the call. And check it out. It's awesome.
Oh, is this Max?
Yes, sir.
Max, what's up? This is Chris Nolan from the New York Jets. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
So I don't know if you remember me, but I was the area scout who fall camp I talked to you. I met you at the Senior Bowl, but
Absolutely.
We're taking you here with our pick.
Oh man, thank you so much.
You excited?
Oh my God, I'm so excited,
I'm
man.
excited
Thank y'all.
I've never done this before either, so it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting for both.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Let's go, Max.
Let's do it.
Now, our final pick of the draft was pick 117. I have to say, I thought we were going to trade back. Joe Douglas's MO has been acquiring stuff. So this draft is interesting because he's moving up all over the place. Quality over quantity, which says something. It says that we're ready to compete. The past couple years, he's been acquiring assets, trading players for picks, trading back picks for more picks, all that sort of stuff. He's been acquiring assets to try to build his team. He's got a foundation now. A lot of the guys got their first year under their belt. Together in the system, they're ready to compete. They're ready to bring on a higher echelon of player, and they're going for a little bit different goal this year than they have in the past couple years. So I thought we were going to trade back. We didn't. We stuck and stayed. Didn't see this pick coming either, but I happen to love it now that I've had a minute to look at it. Man, oh man, Michael Clemons, defensive end out of Texas A&M, 7 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss. It's a funny thing. If you looked at our beat, you wouldn't know any of that stuff. This was their reporting. He's got arrests. He's 25 years old. He's an unknown. It's like that's all they care about. I just hope you guys are starting to see it. Number one, they don't know anything. They don't offer us anything. It's all bullshit. Number two, whenever we do anything, they desperately try to find the negative. That's all they want to do. That's all they want to do. So we know all of his arrests. We know his whole rap sheet and everything. Joe Douglas said in his presser, yes, we knew about all that stuff. We looked at it. We reviewed it. His medical's cleared. His personal stuff is, we cleared it. And when you look at this guy, for a 4th round pick defensive end, he is exactly what you want to see. Tenacious, nasty, aggressive, strong, long. I'm going to tell you, there was a quote from an NFC personnel director. He said this about Michael Clemons. I'm not going to worry about him being kind of stiff in his rush because he's long and he's strong. Those traits start in our league. So the Jets liked him enough to pass on everybody else. I love it. We doubled up at edge like a lot of us thought we might. Now again, thought we might go linebacker once, thought we might go safety once, thought maybe an interior offensive lineman. Nope. Defensive end. We brought in 2 of them in this draft, and that's the way it is going to go. So guys, what an amazing draft. Before we leave, we have so much stuff to talk about this week. Our undrafted free agent class. I'm not going to mention those guys for this video. We did bring in 12 guys. I'm very, very disappointed with a lot of the choices there, but I'll flesh that out for you in a different show. But I want to say this. I want to compare something for you. I want you to take a look. I want you to take a look and focus on the energy for this team. Okay? We have been a stick in the mud for the longest time. Just the word. We have had accountant GMs and the whole thing. Take a look at our calls to the players, and then I want to show you our crosstown rivals and the energy they're bringing to the table. So take a look at the Jets versus the Giants here. They're our first call versus their first call. Take a look. Let me know what you think. But on the way out, guys, I want to thank you for watching. This was great. Thank you for hanging with us all weekend, man. What an amazing time. I'm still not right as far as sleeping and all that stuff goes. I'm gonna need a minute here. But guys, I could not be more grateful for all the support, all the connection that we have, and I'm grateful that Jet Nation got to receive a positive draft. PFF, a very critical organization with the Jets, gave us an A-. So look, we know this. Don't get nuts. Don't get nuts. Draft grades aren't real till 3 years after. At the end of the 3rd year is when you can really look at it. But hey, today is all we have, and it looks pretty good. We got some of the best players in the whole draft. 3 top 10 picks in the first round by many people's estimations. So that's a good thing. Guys, I'm in a good mood. I hope you are. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep your heads up, man. It's a good time to be a Jets fan. Let's roll into rookie minicamp and see what we got going on there. Guys, check out the Jets versus the Giants. And as always, go Jets.
Kayvon, how you doing?
Joe, how's it going?
You good?
Yeah, man, just waiting.
All right. You ready to be a New York Giant?
Come on, man. I knew it. I was waiting on it. I've been waiting.
All right.
I manifested. I prayed for it this time.
I love it, man. I love it. I love that it worked out. Here's Coach.
Kayvon, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Coach?
You jacked up or what?
I'm excited, Coach. I can't even believe it.
Well, you've earned it, and we're excited to have you. Got a lot of work to do, but excited to get you up here and start working with you, man. You're a heck of a player, and welcome to the Giants organization.
And we've got Joe and Coach Sala and everybody else in here. They're going to hop on.
Swaggy sauce, Gardner. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this. Let's do this, man. Hey, we're fired up, man.
Double J.
Yes, sir, I will.
JJ!
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, man, I know it's been a long day.
G-Dub. G-Dub, what's up, man? It's Joe Douglas. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, man. G-Dub!
Coach Sala, how are you?
Congratulations.
We're on the clock, man. We're trading up for you.
Sure. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You ready to run the rock?
Yeah, for sure.
We're good?
There we go.
Peace!
What's up?
What up, man?